What is the secret to inner happiness?
I'm able to regulate that before I communicate with you or I connect with you. If I'm connected to my source,
What, in your opinion, is true success?
when we don't get that in our childhood, then we get it from the world. So they say that, if you have to discipline your child and give them a little bit of a hard time, it's okay, because then otherwise the world will do it.
Sorry to cut you here, but a lot of people find comfort in their grudge and their resentment.
So I have taught her to respect me, and in the long run, there is more respect. People are so talented and yet they're so shy because they...
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of That Healing Feeling with Neha Ranglani. And I'm so glad that you've clicked on this episode, because this episode is going to teach us how to look within and create the best life for ourselves. And who better than our guest for today to help us with that? Now, she is a transformational life coach and a happiness and wellness expert and a TEDx speaker. She is a powerhouse of positivity and has touched over 24,000 lives across 25 countries by blending ancient wisdom and modern day psychology. She's been mentored by Sri Ravi Shankar, and over 2 decades, she's been a faculty member with the Art of Living Foundation. But that's not all. She's also a master of innovative techniques like dance movement therapy, 456 breath work, and her signature happy mirror work that allows clients to find inner strength, peace, and joy. And as if all of this was not enough, she is soon to release her first book, Anchor Within, that will help us to shift our focus inward and become our happiest selves. Joining us today is our guest, Leena Gupta. Welcome, Leena, and thank you for being a part of my show.
Well, I'm very happy to be here, Neha.
So, Leena, tell me, you're a transformational life coach and a wellness expert, and you are somebody who focuses on inner happiness.
Absolutely.
So, what led you on this path of being a transformational life coach? How did the journey unfold for you?
Yeah, I think like everybody else, we have transformations in our life, and we have pivotal moments, and we have epiphanies. And I think mine came when I went crashing down and hit the floor. And then I looked up and said, God, if you want to drop me so low that finally I see the light above, So I think that transformation is a part of our lives. I don't think it's something that we're trained to adapt to, any change for that matter. So when it happened in my life, it made me, let's say, create a lot more muscles of adaptation, resilience, being able to see a broader picture. So I think those are some features. But yeah, there's a journey behind all of our transformations.
Exactly. And I always believe, when you walk on the path of resilience, when you're becoming resilient, it usually happens after a very difficult moment or multiple difficult moments in your life. So, would you like to share something that happened in your life that got you on this path and realize that you could then help other people to find their inner peace, happiness, and transform and become their best self?
Sure. I think living as a young girl in America, my parents were living the American dream, and I had the so-called perfect life, academically achieving, winning awards, being the role model in the community. So I was this perfect little girl who was achieving, and then suddenly I came all the way to India and I got married. And I think the new changes, the uncertainty. So while I thought that socially I'm fitting the prescription and the norms, internally I realized I had no tools. I was hopeless and helpless because I had no tools to adapt to the changes. There were quite a lot of challenging differences. And I just felt like someone who had no tools, like a carpenter with no tools. And I was at the mercy of my own devices. So I had to be my own coach. I had to fall, fail, and learn to get up again. So that was tough. And I think when we don't get that in our childhood, then we get it from the world. So they say that, if you have to discipline your child and give them a little bit of a hard time, it's okay, because then otherwise the world will do it.
Yes.
So then I think I think every opportunity in life, every circumstance, mine or yours, is an invitation to go within.
Yes.
And I think in hindsight, when I look at it, I had so many opportunities to turn inward. And that's something we're not taught, Neha. We are just constantly taught to pursue that success, which is the chase for endless chase for
Yes.
perfection, a perfect partner, the jobs, accumulating degrees, having that status,
Yeah.
which is supposed to speak for you, right?
Yes.
But really, the essence of us doesn't get affected with that. It is not
Yes.
fulfilling. So I think these are the things that I learned along the way.
Yes. You rightly said, we are always chasing something external. We want the name, the fame, the money, the success. And we usually measure success with the amount of wealth we have or how glorified our life is. But what, in your opinion, is true success?
Oh gosh, I would have to quote my mentor, Shri Ravi Shankarji, and he says, an unshakable smile. That is success. Because someone who has everything, and let's say they lose everything, once they know who they are and they have the internal blueprint in their mind, they can recreate it again.
Yeah.
They can make sunshine wherever they go, but it's your state of mind that decides the quality of your life. And that's why I focus highly on working on the inner engineering, the inner works, so that we navigate from a place of strength, stability, resilience, happiness. It's not out there. Our five senses trick us into thinking that there's pleasure out there, and it might be momentary, but the wise will tell you that what is helping you for the long-term comfort, and are you willing to go through the short-term distress for the long-term comfort? I think that's worth cultivating.
Yes, and I think everyone today is chasing happiness. We all want to feel happy. So I was reading this beautiful book by Sir Shri. It's called The Source. And he has beautifully written that everything that we desire in life, ultimately, it's because we want to feel one or all three of these emotions, which is love, peace, happiness. So it could be a car, it could be marriage or a relationship, or it could be any material thing that you desire in life. But ultimately, what is it that you want to feel after you achieve it? It's one of these three emotions. And we're constantly chasing everything outside to feel happy. And we definitely don't want to feel sad. We don't want to face our negative, I wouldn't say negative, but we don't want to face our heavy emotions because they're too dark for us. But then, what is the secret to inner happiness, which you train your clients for? I would love to know.
So I have a two-part answer for you. One is that anything that is transient, temporary, fading, which is beauty, our material possessions, people, right? That's externally, they're not going to be there forever. So we are chasing something that's constantly changing. What we want to feel is the changeless, which is the inner child within you that doesn't age, and that reservoir of talent, potential, which is inside, which is infinite. Everything externally has a time life, a shelf life, and can change, which we don't really like. But when you turn inward and you tap into that reservoir, you are with the infinite, you are with the collective consciousness. And that takes that's a journey I talk about in my book about how to go within. The second part is we have to realize that we have been taught that we need to get approval, permission, and acceptance externally to feel validated.
Yeah, the external validation, right.
So this is a big trap. It's not our fault. So we shouldn't go into self-blame. This is the way culture has shaped us to keep us small and where we are. Because let's understand that when we feel insecure, small, not good enough, industries thrive.
Yes.
Pharma, beauty. So many industries thrive to keep us small so that we are wanting more, desiring more. The latest trends in fashion, the last season's fashions are over, now the new. So they keep us unsatisfied all the time. It's like, culture has asked us to fit into that square hole with a round peg. Now, if you're round and you have to fit into that square, it's going to make you miserable.
Absolutely.
So the spirit shrinks, and in order to please, in order to impress,
be accepted also.
To impress, we shrink ourselves, we dim our light, we camouflage ourselves, we want to fit in and just be a part of that whole collective. And belonging is a natural feeling, but where you lose yourself in the process, that's a very dangerous thing. And I think that we have to be aware of that.
Yeah. And you touched upon a very important point where we feel little about ourselves because these industries want us to feel a certain way so that they can thrive. So what do you think? Does social media impact us today because the kind of stuff we are surrounded by? Is that affecting our inner worth?
Absolutely 100%. Because one is that with the digitalization, isolation, working from home, there is less contact. So you're missing that human touch, that connection. Today, you and I are talking. There's a vibration, there's a feeling, there's a conversation. When you're looking at a screen, half the time people are zoned out. So that one part is also very disturbing. Second part is that there's too much comparison and a projection of the perfect life, the perfect time, the perfect feeling, the perfect person. And that is not real life. So it creates a lot of depression, creates a lot of aggression. And that's what we're seeing in youngsters today, is that they are feeling the FOMO. And that definitely erodes the self-worth. And we have to, so I wouldn't say let's stay away from social media. At my time, it was MTV. It could be HBO. The point is, how do you regulate? Whatever comes across in your life, whatever you come up with, how do you regulate it? How do you moderate it? You will only know if you know yourself. If I know myself, I know what I like, what I dislike. I know what my threshold is, and I know what I can handle. Now, beyond that, we get greedy with our senses to see more, to absorb more, to take in more information, without understanding who we are and what is it that we want and what values do we stand for. Right. We don't know ourselves. And then we want to know so much more.
I want to know, how do we know ourselves? How do we work on that aspect of knowing ourselves better?
So that's something that not everybody likes to do, not everybody can do, but it's something we can cultivate. Is solitude. Is spending some time with yourself, without people. It can be in nature, without your phone, without a book. Just be with yourself, observe your thoughts, and be okay with whatever thoughts are coming. See, the cultivation is honing this practice, honing this skill of being with myself. And as you get better with it, you start your meditation. And once you start meditating, you can start distancing yourself, become a witness to your events rather than getting the emotion attached. So once we start disrupting our thoughts through breath work, meditation, isolation, just solitude, we create space around those bombarding thoughts that are linked. And so when we do that, when we create that space, slowly the space becomes wider and wider and wider, and we become more distant and distant. And like watching a movie, these are frames that go by without affecting us. We need to become strong within ourselves so that we can see the moving picture around us without getting entangled.
That's a beautiful
it's a habit.
And I think it's a practice. It really doesn't happen overnight, because it can be really uncomfortable to be with yourself. Like, I know people, when I see clients and I ask them, do you meditate? They just tell me, I can't even close my eyes for 2 minutes, because they can't be with themselves. And this practice of understanding yourself, you beautifully put it, that first start with solitude. Start spending time alone in nature or anywhere else that you enjoy. People don't know how to go on a date with themselves. And I think that's such a, terrible thing, because until you're not your best friend, how can you share that energy with anyone else? The love, the happiness, the joy. So you've beautifully put it.
There's a survey. There's a research that's been done with 15 people in one room and 15 people in another room. The one room had a mechanism where they could get an electric shock if they wanted to stop the session, 15 minutes of solitude. And the other room, they were just left, right? The people who had the opportunity to press and get a mild shock would rather do that than to spend 15 minutes with themselves.
Oh my God.
Over 75% of them in that room did that. So it just kind of shows you how distracted, how bombarded we are with our thoughts and the noise that we have within us, the noise we have around us and within us. So how can we hear that intuition within? So, Neha, what's really important is that as children, we were never encouraged to explore ourselves or our individuality. It was always about fitting in, belonging to, becoming a part of, right? So that's good. But you also have to know who you are and be okay with the quirks and the nuances and the eccentricities, because honestly, that's what makes Neha amazing. That's what makes Leena fantastic. That's what makes us different. And rather than camouflaging that, let's highlight that.
Yeah.
People are so talented and yet they're so shy because they're fearing the judgment of
Yes,
others.
yes.
And their whole life is dimmed because of that.
And I think that is a childhood conditioning. Like you rightly said, we were always taught to be a certain way to fit with the society norms. But we were never told that you're okay as you are.
That's your whole.
बिकॉज वो क्या बोलेगा और ये क्या बोलेगी और सोसाइटी क्या बोलेगी अगर आप ऐसा करोगे तो एंड दैट इज वॉट वी बीन ब्रॉट अप विथ एंड दैट्स वॉट हैज शेप्ड आवर subconscious, and I think that's how we are operating. So it's autopilot, right? We are just moving in one direction, not understanding that once we learn ourselves better, I think there's so much that we can do good for the world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a step-by-step process. And, when we don't know ourselves, what do we end up doing? Wearing false masks for everything. False masks with false relationships, with false, encounters, because we are crushing our spirit to be something else, to be someone else. And that is, it's miserable. It's like not breathing from within, you're not taking that breath of fresh air. You're always conscious, and you're always, there's always a resistance inside. And that's why a lot of people, have you noticed, when they get older, they're so accommodating and so people-pleasing and so, saying yes all the time, that ultimately by the time they're older generation, they let off their steam and they just go bitter.
Yes.
They are upset, they're angry, and they vent.
Yeah, they're always frustrated. For some reason, they're just...
Because they've been holding it.
Yes.
They've been holding their authentic selves captive for the longest time. Right? And that's, like I said, it's not anyone's fault. This is culture. But it's time to wake up. It's time to have that awareness and say, you know what, now I have tools and techniques. My biggest mission in my transformational life journey with my clients is to provide them tools and techniques so they have support. Because I remember in my case, when I felt hopeless and helpless, I wish I had the tools, some kind of GPS, maybe a mentor, someone to guide me who has that aerial view, who can see everything because they've been experienced, to guide me. And today, that's what the role of a coach is to be that GPS, or that spiritual mentor, is to be that GPS and provide support, not to be a crutch.
Yes.
And I emphasize this. I don't want my clients to be with me forever, because I want them ultimately independent, thinking for themselves. And my job is to ask them the right questions so they come up with their own solutions. I don't want to tell them what to do, because I'm a crutch then.
Yes, absolutely. It's about helping them discover their own wings. And
you mentioned wings. This is something so pertinent, and I mention it in my book. We are sometimes so eager to help people, our children, our friends, that we actually do them we don't do them a favor, a disservice. Because, like, you see the larvae in the cocoon, and you see it struggling and struggling and struggling for 3 days, and then finally you say, you know what, let me just snip a little hole in it and make it easier.
Easier for them.
Easier, so the butterfly will find its way out, and slowly it does. And then you see the butterfly spread its wings and beautiful span of wings, but the butterfly never flies.
Because it could not stretch and push.
It could not build the muscles of adaptation. And for me, that was a big epiphany, a big aha moment, when I said, we have to allow people to fall, fail, get up again, and fly. We cannot take that away from them. So as a coach, I have to be very careful that, I'm with you, I'm supporting you, but I'm allowing you to fall and allowing you to get up, knowing that you have me by your side.
Yes. You also mentioned that you were at the lowest point in your life, and that's when you realized that the only way from there is upwards and onwards. And what helped you to rise like a phoenix from the ashes, and what helped you to find your way and navigate your way through your troubles and through your pain?
So I think I had to learn to reframe everything. And the first thing that helped me, Neha, was, Shri Ravi Shankar ji directly mentored me. We met after 10 years of me facing challenges. And then there were tools and techniques. There were breathwork techniques. There was meditation. So all that, what it did for me was raise my energy levels, which helped me with my awareness, which helped me with my confidence. It's all linked, and which took me more inward towards myself, the goddess within. There is no goddess out there. There's no God out there. It is within. So that took me within, and it takes time, it takes time to cultivate. So I started dancing, I started singing, I started playing squash, everything. I started finding my own little happiness, my own petals of happiness everywhere.
Yes.
And that built my spirit back up, that built my self-esteem back up. And that's one part of it. Then secondly, I became a certified life coach. And then I realized that with my theater background, dance background, I started adding more tools, signature tools. And so I developed mindfulness through movement therapy, a different breathing technique, different ways to bring people into meeting themselves.
Right.
And once you know that you are your own anchor, the world becomes a celebration, because you've got your inner guidance, your inner voice, you've got your own self talking to you. You're your best cheerleader. But that's a process. You have to spend time with yourself and face the demons, reframe pain, reframe fear, because we've been taught this is good, this is bad, binary. And it's not like that. We are a complex organism, and we are connected to so many other people. For that, once you tap into, when you're meditating, you tap into the vagal nerve. And the vagus nerve kindles empathy, and also safety within yourself. So when you start feeling safe within yourself, then you are able to take one risk, then another risk, then another risk. That's how the world opens up to you. The world is not doing anything to you. Barring violence, the world is not doing anything to you.
Yes, you're doing it to yourself.
We are interpreting as per conditioning. We are a bundle of patterns, and as per our myopic vision. We need to broaden that vision, as my Guruji says, we need to broaden that vision and come from a space of strength, stability, and that creativity. How will creativity dawn if you're bogged down with noise and clogged with negative emotions? We need to work on that first. We need to create space for that channel of intuition to rise. And that's when you start feeling, oh my God, I'm a powerhouse. I'm a masterpiece of this creation. Because the creator cannot be wrong. The creator cannot make mistakes. So if I'm a part of the creation, I have to be amazing.
Exactly.
So when you start realizing that I'm amazing and yet I'm nobody. I'm somebody and yet nobody. That is the perfect balance. So they say a master is the perfect servant. The humility is there. The knowledge is there. It's very beautiful.
It is. It is. I'm loving whatever you're sharing right now. It's so beautiful. And that brings me to my next question, because when you said do things that fill your cup, like, you meant do things that really make you happy, or you explore things that you enjoy, and you start, opening up arrays of possibilities and stuff. So that also means you start loving yourself more, right?
Well, I think it's a whole journey that begins from inside. Because we're so external, we're looking for something to fill us, to fix us, to put us whole, make us whole. We are already whole. But it needs some kind of mentorship, some kind of coaching, some kind of to help you turn within. And that's not always an easy journey, because it's a mirror. Turning within becomes a mirror for you to see all the parts of you that need healing. And sometimes the way we're interacting with people also shows us the parts that need fixing. But again, you need to be with yourself. You need to be okay and accept my thoughts are crazy, they're running wild. Accept, embrace. But I would do it with the guidance. Like I got guidance to do it, and then I practiced. Then you have to love yourself enough to be committed. And then you go within, and then it's a journey. But it's a journey where you start, enjoying life from a different perspective, from that inner strength. You draw from within rather from outside, which is temporary, not reliable, and could fade anytime. So if someone in your life comes and goes now, you've got your back. You're your best cheerleader. So you are set.
So it's like shedding your skin to uncover your true self, your authentic self.
Well, I think we have to take off a lot of masks.
Yes.
We all have them, and we have to take off layers and layers of our conditioning, of what was taught to us as kids by our parents and in school. But that is something that requires awareness. And once we do that, the winner is the real loser. The one who loses wins.
Actually wins.
Because we need to de-learn, unlearn, unclutter, declutter, let go. All the knowledge that we've gained. We're taught everything in school: chemistry, bio, math.
Yeah.
But why not the life lessons?
Exactly.
Why not the life skills to handle this mind and emotions, this flirting mind, this the emotions which are scattered, which actually, if we could see it in color, in monochromatic color, it'd be all different colors everywhere, and we'd see ourselves. But we have to figure that out. See, meditation is consolidation. It brings the parts of you that are scattered into a whole. So it's a beautiful practice. And I'm not saying meditation is the only way, because I think movement is beautiful. I think whatever you do 100%, whatever you do 100% is meditation.
And also whatever you enjoy, right? I mean, it's not necessary if, say, you like dancing and I like singing. If singing makes me closer to myself and brings me closer to my inner authentic self, I can practice singing. And
absolutely,
likewise, people can do whatever resonates with them, whatever they really feel connected to.
Yeah, and Neha, you'll come to know when you try a few things.
Yes, exactly.
So that's what I'm saying, that when the inner confidence is tapped and that comes up, you're willing to take that risk. Otherwise, you'll do what the herd does.
Yeah.
You'll do what the team does because you want to be part of it. But once you get that inner faculty working, you're willing to bet on yourself. You're willing to take a risk. So you'll try the guitar. You'll try going out with someone. You won't say it has to be this. And I think we're very stuck with the chronology of life, which is at a certain age I've got to be here, and mid 30s I've got to have the job, the career, the partner. At 40s I've got to have the house, the status. So power, etc. And we are stuck with that.
We are stuck with timelines for sure.
And I think the youth have it so good, because your 20s and 30s are for exploring, for risking, for failing, for falling. Do all that.
Yes.
And then take from your beautiful profile of experiences what works for you, what makes you happy. How will you do that if you don't spend time with yourself?
Absolutely. So tell me, what are your top 3 recommendations for anyone who wants to practice self-love?
So I think there are many, but the top 3 would definitely be creating healthy boundaries, Neha. I need to know my own self-worth, my values, what I like, what I don't like. What are my negotiables, non-negotiables, to be able to tell somebody else how to treat me. If I don't know, it's a flood. But if I channel 2 ends of a river, then the river flows in a direction, right? So when I tell you, Neha, I'm not able to do this, but I can definitely help you in some time, it's telling you that you need to respect my time, and I'm showing you how. So I think that's essential, is to create healthy boundaries, and that again comes with spending time with yourself. Number 2 is praising yourself. Oh my God, why are we waiting for the whole world to praise us? Look at me, call me for that party. Why didn't you say this to me? Why didn't she say good things about me? Why? We are setting ourselves up for disappointment and doom, double D. So why not praise yourself? Why not appreciate the good that you've done? Because when we tap into the memory of what we've done that made us feel proud, responsible, excellent, it fosters more confidence. So why wait for someone else to appreciate yourself? Right now, Neha, please give yourself 3 great praises.
So I'm lovable, I'm beautiful, and I'm confident.
Okay, now I would want you to say that as I'm confident, I'm the most lovable, and I'm just amazing.
Okay, so I have to exaggerate.
So not exaggerate, but no question. It seemed like a little bit of a question moment there. Like you went back with your body language, you went back and you said, I'm lovable. So you don't have to exaggerate, but just let's make it really affirmative, 100%.
Okay. So I'm absolutely lovable, I'm the most beautiful person, and I'm super confident.
Amazing. That's the way you do it.
That's how we're supposed to praise ourselves every day.
Look in the mirror and look into your eyes. It's very hard for people to do, trust me. And mirror exercises are very important. So this is the second thing. Third thing is that, can we say no? Are we able to say no so that we say yes to us? We are so, especially women, Neha, are conditioned to be the good girls, the yes-saying girls, the accommodating ones. So we get to a point where we shrink ourselves to say yes, but inner resistance builds up so much that we end up getting psychosomatic illnesses, chronic diseases, and we are the ones who suffer maximum amount of autoimmune. It's the women, because we are accommodating all the time with the inner resistance building up, and that creates a fight. So being able to say no so that you can say yes, and when your yes is to others, it'll be more powerful. Then, because they know when she says no and when she says yes, she means it. She's coming from a place of authenticity, reliability, and strength.
But Leena, the society we live in does not always accommodate and accept your no very well. And there's a lot of shame and guilt that's thrown on somebody who's trying to say a no for themselves and choose themselves over anything external. How does one navigate that? Because we are living in an Indian society and we cannot ignore that fact that it is still very prevalent in our households.
I think it's not limited to India. I think it's everywhere in the world. Women are conditioned that way, and society in general, right? I think it's a step-by-step process, and that's where the coach comes in. You take, it's about small, everyday steps that you take, baby steps, and then small wins, and you celebrate them. And really, if you see, when you say no, it's not to hurt someone. You're actually being very generous because that person may not need your assistance but is used to you assisting. So you have to gauge the situation, use your discrimination to see that is a no the right thing at this point. There are times when I've said no to my daughter, who is a grown daughter, and she said, I'm in college now, Mom, but why is it that you have no time for me? I said, I have all the time for you in the world, but these 10 minutes I have committed myself. You have to wait, I'll call you back. No, Mom, but what's more important than me? You see, so people play into the soft zone. They know how to push your buttons, but I had to train, and it wasn't easy. I had to train myself to say, I'll get back to you. I didn't fight, but that the tone has to change, the style has to change.
So politely,
and
you do it politely.
You can do it politely, but you can be assertive
and polite,
and be patient. That you have to wait till people, and trust me, nobody likes their boundaries made to them, because they will resist it, they will test you, they will pull to see how much they can push you. But this is where your commitment to yourself comes in, the resolve from within, that inner strength, that I am firm with my boundaries. Yes, gauging the situation holistically. Yeah. And now my daughter will say, okay, Mom, I'll call you back. So I have taught her to respect me, and in the long run, there is more respect. So when you look at anything, Neha, let's not look at the short term, gratification, pleasure, people pleasing, seeking. Let's look at the long term, that how will my life shape? How will I be for others? And how about my behavior, my attitude influence others in their journey and for the long run?
Right. So we need to take the first step and have the courage to say no. And even if it's not well accepted,
it's fine.
We still need to keep doing that till we train people around us to treat us in a certain way.
Well,
or to expect certain things from us.
Yeah, so let me put it this way. Even if someone doesn't respect my boundaries, then I know how much distance to have from them. So I'm not here to change anyone, but definitely healthy boundaries tells a lot about you, because it says you have high standards, that you've thought about yourself, that you have some self-worth, that you know who you are to tell me. Otherwise, you don't know who you are, you have no boundaries. Right. Then you're available 24/7. Then you're working, then your colleague comes into workspace and says, oh, I have these personal problems, and you're feeling bad in your inner resistance, and you've got commitments and timelines, but you're not able to say anything. This is what I'm talking about, is that fight from within. No, then when you say yes to someone, they know you're going to be undivided, 100% with them. Why give them half-baked version of yourself when you can give them the full top Neha version?
Yes, absolutely. So before we move on to our next segment, I want to quickly thank Urban Platter for powering this season of That Healing Feeling with Neha Ranglani. Leena, as an integrative health coach, I focus a lot on relationships as a part of holistic health. Because if your relationships are not harmonious, no matter how healthy you're eating or how well you're exercising, you may not feel that healthy and that vibrant from within, because your mind is constantly focused on the disturbances in your relationships. Now, that could be relationship with your partner or family members or even business partners. So how can we establish harmony in our relationships in today's chaotic, mad world?
Yeah, absolutely. So many of us are, grappling with the challenges and the chaos of the world today. But, like I said, Neha, the first relationship is with ourselves. That sets the tone for relationships with other people, whether it be your spouse, your colleague, it doesn't matter. So once you know yourself and you have a relationship, that means I know when I'm feeling angry, I know when I'm feeling sad, I know when my energy is low, when my energy is high. I'm able to regulate that before I communicate with you or I connect with you. If I'm connected to my source, I'm more likely to be more regulated to connect with you. So I think the first responsibility is to look after ourselves. That could be a healthcare routine, that could be a good diet, great sleep. These are sources of energy. And if we look after ourselves, and I think that's our prime responsibility, I think it becomes better with other relationships, because you have self-referral. You have your gut. You have your inner voice talking to you at all times saying, this is good, this is not good. But for that, we need to create the awareness, solitude, listen, right? Listen. Do you have so much noise in your head that you can't even listen to what your gut is saying? So then take care of that. That's your responsibility. And to achieve harmony in relationships is, honestly, first let's just accept ourselves. Are we perfect? We are imperfect and we're perfect. So when we excuse ourselves, can we not excuse the other? How much room do we have for other people's disturbances, them being a victim of circumstance, their stress, their anxiety? I always say I have this 80-20 trash can rule. Okay, and I mentioned in my book, which is 80% the person is the way you like them, or what your situations are going the way you like. 20% doesn't work out your way. Please leave some room for chaos, imperfection, mistakes, because you would want that to be done to you. You would want someone to have that compassion for you. So I think whatever we want from the other, let's imbibe that, live it, be it, breathe it, feel it, sleep it. We need to embody that before we have any list for anyone else. And when people say 50-50 partnership, whether it's work or relationship, marital, etc. What is 50-50? Are you binary? Yes, no, half? No. Sometimes you're 20 and I'll cover for you and you tell me, honey, I'm tired today. So, okay, I know that 80 is my job today. If I'm 40 and I tell you, Neha, wow, it's been a cracker of a day and I just need someone to talk to. So you know that I think the important part is communication, and that fostering the trust. And if I don't like something, I should be able to tell you that didn't really sit well with me. It's also how we communicate. Yes. Am I blaming? Am I shaming? Or am I questioning? Yeah. I think we need to bring curiosity in our conversations. We need to bring wonderment in our conversations. Say, oh, I'm wondering, what made you do that, or what made you say that, rather than you said this and that hurt me. And that is an attack. Yes. Where I'm talking about being solution-oriented rather than problem-oriented.
Yes, but how do you do that when someone walks over you or insults you or treats you in a certain way which definitely you don't want to be treated as? So how do you maintain that poise and the calmness within you to not react and respond?
So Neha, right now, if I call you a donkey, do you become one?
No, I don't.
Right. And now we are in a removed situation. So you're very distanced, right? Yes. But it's a loved one or someone close to us. All those buttons get pushed. Yes. But that is why I'm saying that who are you? First, know who you are. You are your best cheerleader. And when you know that you are a contributor to this world, you know you have purpose and meaning, you know you're valuable, and that you're nobody at the same time, then how can someone's words, which are temporary, a few vibrations, let them pass? And the more still you become, the more your mind becomes still, the more your sensations within tell you, okay, pause. This person is stressed out. There's compassion. Yes. There's like, oh no, you know what? They've had a bad day. Yeah. No problem. That, it's not about me. It might be about them. So I'm going to listen. If there's something in it for me to learn, great. Otherwise, I'm just going to drop it. But that strength will come when you're with yourself. You have to do the inner work. The inner work is required.
So you basically look beyond the person's actions and probably see them with an eye of compassion and love, because they're coming with a certain sense of baggage or something that's troubling them and bogging them down, and that's why they're behaving the way they are behaving.
Well, we don't know why they're behaving the way they are, but is there room for me to learn something from it? Can I grow from this? Is this person stressed out? Let's evaluate it from many lenses, not one lens. Because we would want other people to be compassionate with us. Now, if someone is insulting me and I know that's the way they are, I have to armor myself. I'm not here to make you my pet project.
Yeah.
I have to armor myself, my mind. That's why a wellness routine in the morning is the best thing you can do for yourself, whether it's running, dancing, meditating, jogging, journaling, whatever, because it armors you, gives you positive vibes, your affirmations. It sets you up for the day. It gives you resilience, confidence, and inner strength.
What is Leena Gupta's typical morning routine like?
Yeah, so I get up and I start with exercise. So I go from exercise to rest. So I start with, it could be a walk, it could be a gym workout, anything that is activity, where my endorphins are going and I am totally in the moment, enjoying whatever I'm doing. Then I go to doing pranayams, my breath work, and then I fall into a meditation. I do a 20-minute meditation. And during the day, if I feel there's something going on, because I'm also looking inwards to see what's going on, I check in with myself. Every few hours or even 2 hours, I check in with myself and say, how are you doing? What are you feeling? Are you okay with this? What do you feel about this? So I'm asking myself that, do I feel good? Does this make me feel strong? Does it make me feel comfortable? Does it make me feel safe? And do I like it? You know, sometimes we have to train ourselves to like it, and I write it down. I jot this stuff down. And at night, again, there's a cool down ritual, because, you know, you've spoken to people, there are impressions, there are conversations, and I want to declutter. So for me, again, a 20-minute meditation and connecting with friends, listening to music, dancing, just being that inner child that wants to come out and feel free. I ask myself, how free are you feeling? That's my gauge every day. How free am I before I go to bed?
Wow.
Or what am I taking to bed with me?
Yeah. What are you holding on? What's blocking you within? I think you've said a very, very powerful point here. Guys, make a note of it, because I think we all can ask ourselves at night before we go to bed, what is it that we are holding on to and that's not letting us be free? And I think that will give us a lot of answers and help us shed a lot of baggage and weight that we are carrying of the day on us, and sleep like a baby and wake up like a fresh flower.
Yeah, absolutely. And I make a list of whatever I need to do the next day. I just write it down. So it's kind of gone into the subconscious. It's kind of been programmed. And then when I wake up, it's just, you know, but I try to have some quiet time before bedtime. So it's not TV and bedtime. So it's there's a gap. Yeah.
So you're ready to basically take charge of the next day, and it's like a clean slate. You wake up every day like a clean slate.
Yeah.
To share with the world.
And even if you don't wake up fresh, Neha, you tell yourself, it's a whole brand new day, and I'm determined to be happy come what may, because happiness is not an emotion, it's a choice. And you have to train yourself to say, you know what, I have so many blessings in my life. Why am I not happy? And if I'm not, write it down, figure it out, see it objectively without the emotions attached. And I think that tells us a lot about where we are.
When we talk about happiness, I think one thing that I've also seen with my clients that stops them from feeling the inner happiness is not being able to forgive people, situations, or themselves. How do you think people can go about forgiving or just being more letting go of things that they're holding on to and that actually bogs them down and affects their health?
Forgiveness is huge, Neha. It is a weight that we carry. It's like trying to run a marathon with wet sneakers. You cannot, you're burdened. So, you know, I say that this real estate, this mental real estate is so precious. And if that bad tenant is there, just evict them. Let them go. And barring violence, we are not condoning bad behavior. But we're saying this moment is more important to me than the past moment. And I'm choosing me over that situation.
But you know, a lot of, sorry to cut you here, but a lot of people find comfort in their grudge and their resentment.
So
they're very comfortable with that emotion.
So misery loves company. Yes. But the two parts that I just told you right now, one is that understand that your mental real estate decides the quality of your life. The state of your mind decides the quality of your life. And if you've got a bad tenant in there, it's your job to work on it, to let it go, to even change the vibration of it and say, it's the past. I bless, I forgive, I let go. Barring violence, okay? But let them go peacefully, and you are more important than that past situation. Tell yourself, this moment is more precious than what has happened to me. And I do not condone bad behavior, but I will not allow that power over me anymore. Free yourself so that you can be more authentic, live your life fully.
Leena, you just spoke about past right now, and we are always holding on to episodes that feel uncomfortable, and that becomes our comfort space, you know, in our mind. But we all know that past and future don't exist. So either we are oscillating in the past and future, and we're not in the present moment because we just don't know how to be in the present. And we're always pulled in either of the corners. So since you give people a lot of tools and tips and techniques, I want some quick techniques that you can share with the audience to be able to snap out of the past and future and come back to the present.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a mental fight, Neha. The past, even the glorious memories are beautiful past, or he said, she said, anger and, you know, regret, or we're reeling in that anxiety of the future. Will it happen? Will I get the promotion? Will I get married, etc. So How much of your life you are in the present moment is the quality of your life, and very often is only 20%. So that is a very good indicator. Now, what I tell my clients, and if they're on the go, they're busy, this is a technique that you can do to bring your mind back to the present moment. It's so simple, but it's psychologically connected and it works, which is clap. Now, when do you clap, Neha? Generally, when you're happy, when you're watching something, you're inspired.
Excited,
So you're clapping. Yeah, so even you could be in a boardroom meeting and just do this, just clap so that you know your body picks up on the message. Yeah, just once, and snap. Yeah, and just snap. You don't even have to make that noise. Just snap, just clap, snap. What does that do? It reinforces doubly to be in the present moment. Wow. So the clap makes you happy. The body's conditioned to feel happy, inspired, and in the moment. Yeah. And with that snap, you're fresh, alert, and ready to receive. Wow. So this is a double reassurance. That's one technique that works very well and very quickly.
Lovely. That was a quick one, and I think it was really effective. Also, I want to know top 5 tips to tap into your happiest self.
Well, Neha, what comes to mind is, one, we need to smile at ourselves more. I think we've been smiling at the world enough. We've been taught to do that. It's time to turn inward and smile at you, at the trillions of cells that are keeping you alive, vibrant, and making your life a celebration. Smile at yourself, right? Yeah. I would say number 2 would be service. That once you feel whole within, then our nature is to share. When we feel joyful and we're happy, it spills into our environment. It spills into everything we do. And I think that is fulfillment. And that's when you feel connected to everyone. That's when I feel that, Neha, what can I do for you? Or can I help this one? That sense of fulfillment does not come from outside. So I think service makes us more human. It makes us, all those divine qualities blossom. Yeah? You said 5. So number 3, I would say, know yourself. Spend time with yourself. You're valuable. You're a pearl of this creation. You're so valuable. You should feel that first. Don't wait for someone else to tell you. Like I said, praise yourself. Feel valuable. Number 4 would be, might seem contradictory, but know that you're nothing also in the big sphere of things, which keeps you humble, which keeps you grounded. So in the big scheme of things, in this cosmos, you're a speck and a speck of a speck. You're nothing.
Basically, this is all impermanent, and
and you're just one part of it, and yet you are so magnificent. So that's something that we need to keep in mind, that paradox. So number 5, I would say, is be so decluttered and free that your creativity, your gifts to the world come out of you shining, like you shine that light to not show off, but to shine forth, illuminate path for others, and share your gifts with the world unapologetically.
Wow. That was lovely, Leena. And I'm quickly going to do a fun rapid fire with you. What's your favorite guilty pleasure food that you secretly indulge in when no one's around?
Oh, I'm very happy to eat chocolate when everybody's around.
If you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think Om Namah Shivaya.
Wow. It's a beautiful one. What's your go-to stress-busting activity? Dancing, singing, or something else?
Dancing for sure.
Okay. If you could trade lives with someone for a day, who would it be and why?
Nobody, because I'm meant to be here and I'm part of divinity, and divinity cannot be wrong. I'm meant to be here right here with you right now.
Amazing. You're stranded on a deserted island and you can bring only one thing. What is that thing going to be?
Me.
But you are
the essence of me.
Okay. If you had to choose between never accessing to social media again or never having chocolate again, which would you give up?
Social media.
Social media. Okay. The chocolate is so important.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
Spontaneous? Jumped out of a window.
And where did you land?
On the grass.
Really?
Fall off a horse. So many things.
But spontaneous, fall off a horse, like intentionally?
As in training.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. You didn't get hurt, I'm hoping.
No, I was taking riding lessons.
If you had a superpower for a day, what would it be and how would you use it?
The superpower is to be connected to my essence, which is connected to the rest of the world. And if I can maintain that, that's my superpower.
Okay. What's a quirky habit you have that helps keep you grounded?
I jump.
Oh, wow.
I just jump around. like a little kid.
That's sweet. And finally, if you could give just one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh my God, stop the fear. Just let go. Take a bet on yourself.
Hmm.
You're worth it.
Leena, you're also very soon to release your first book, Anchor Within. I need to know more about it. I'm so excited.
You know, Neha, we've never been taught to explore our individuality, like I said, and explore who we are and even accept who we are, right? The whole chase has been for outer validation. And I think it's essential today, not even an option, essential today that we turn inward and start anchoring into that essence of who we are, understand who we are, know ourselves, and then operate from that knowing, that inner strength, stability, and superpower, like you said. You know, when you embrace that, your flaws, your nuances, your incongruencies, then you're able to accept other people, right? There's more compassion. When you have compassion for yourself, you can be more compassionate with others. So knowing yourself is very important. And I tell you in the book how, step by step, to turn inward, start smiling at yourself, take a deep dive within, and anchor into that reservoir, which is infinite and non-changing.
Wow, and when is it releasing?
Well, we're waiting for Penguin to release it in February, so I'm waiting for the dates.
Guys, do watch out for Leena's book, which is releasing super soon. And everything that she shared today, she's going to give you some amazing tips and hacks to go within and find your true self, which is what the purpose of our life is. And with that, we are done with our beautiful episode today. And you were amazing. And the pearls of wisdom that you've shared today, I'm sure our viewers are going to take back so much from this. And as a token of gratitude, I want to share a very cute small hamper for you by Urban Platter.
Oh, that's
Which
amazing.
has some amazing goodies, and I'm hoping that you'll love them.
Yes, thank you
It's
so
all
much.
healthy and it's all something that you can use in your day to day life.
Super, I look forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.